I had a couple of crashes and whoops, look what I did. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. I'm at Bego RC Raceway for the final 2028 scale race. We're gonna get out there with my Tekno EB 48.3 and my Tekno EB 410. Today's just practice day, so I'm just trying to dial in what the proper tire is gonna be like, if there's any changes I need to make to the cars, because the weather has gotten significantly colder over the past few weeks since we were last here. So let me go show you the cars, I'll show you what I had to do to them. Alright, on my Tekno EB 48.3, I had to make a couple of repairs after the Quebec Classic. Replace the servo. The servo that was in here was probably repairable, but I just replaced it with the one into my Chuggy because this one is better and faster and brushless. I also have done a battery change where I'm now running the Genzace 4S hard pack 50C pack with IC5 connector. This one is a little bit taller and it also has top mount battery leads, but it's a good battery for 8 scale. There are better models, Redline specifically. I do have a Redline on the way, it's just not here yet. I also had a problem on the rear shock tower in the last event where it would keep pitching forward, and so I've figured out how to fix that by a modification to the rear tower and adding a nut, and I'll show you how I did that. So I need to make a modification to the rear diff case. I just need to add a little bit of clearance on either side of this rear diff case to allow me to put a 5.5 mil nut on this screw, and that will stop it from backing out of the shock tower. Even the newest EB 48 2.0 just has threads that hold through the diff case, so if the threads strip out in your diff case, then the screw pulls through. So I've put an extra long screw in here, and I just need to add the clearance to put a 5.5 mil nut, and then that will secure this rear shock tower to the bulkhead perfectly, and that'll be the upgrade. In there with a Dremel and make a little groove, just enough clearance to put the 5.5 mil nut on. Now I just made a little clearance notch on both sides to fit a 5.5 mil nut, and now that should be a lot stronger to hold that rear shock tower in place, because at the Quebec Classic it kept getting loose and leaning forward, and now it can't do that. And there's no other need to change this rear diff case other than having that screw stripped out, so this should be a good little upgrade. Now we're just out here on a practice day. I went out for the first time with the EB48 and I tried these super soft electrons, and I was skating all over the place. Not a good tire. I figured because it's cooler weather, it's around 15 degrees Celsius, I wanted to try super softs. The only super softs I have are these old electrons. Just this electron in general just does not hook up on this track. So I tried a couple different options, and by far the best tire that I've ran here so far is these slide locks. These are worn down ones on the front, but on the rear they're quite good. Well, I really like these slide locks. They have this interlocking tread pattern that really does stop you from sliding around. It is definitely noticeable. I've got my EB 48.3 somewhat dialed in, ready to go. The EB 410 is going to need some work. I went out on this configuration, which is what I've been running at Electrosport RC Raceway, which is space bars on the front and electrons on the rear, and it was skating all over the place. I've got some limited options for tire changes for the EB 410, and we'll see how I do. For this one, I'm going to be running the Genzace Redline 6000, or I might run the older RS pack. I just need to figure out what tire will work best. So, mostly this is going to be figure out the tire, and this is just practice driving. I went out there, I was just getting used to it again. I was certainly rusty for the first 5 or so laps, but then I just got the hang of it, and then I was able to do 10 laps or so without crashing. The layout is the same as what you saw in Quebec Classic, so we still have that double-double on a corner. And I'm being extra conservative this time, where I'm trying to only gun it when I think I can make it. Most of I haven't had a kicker crash there yet during practice day, so we'll see how I do tomorrow when the pressure's on and you're actually in a grid with other cars. Alright, just experimenting with tires. I went out with the EB 410 with this, which is barcodes, worn down barcodes that were like being on an ice rink. Then I put my reverse rotation positrons back on, and they were excellent. Even though they look trashed, they had excellent traction. But I had a couple of crashes, and whoops, look what I did. Oh, I finally broke the front shock tower on the EB 410. This is the big, thick plastic shock tower that comes on these cars. I've ran this for over 3 years. I've snapped multiple shock standoffs, which also, this shock standoff also sheared. But now my shock tower cracked right in half, so I might have to upgrade to the carbon. I have the carbon pieces. I don't think I have a stock plastic one, so we might have to do the conversion to carbon, even though this is probably one of the last races this car's going to run because I have the new 0.2 to build. Got to fix it up so we can race it tomorrow. Alright, we got the broken shock tower replaced. Now I'm going to put my reverse rotation positrons back on, and they were excellent. Even though this is probably one of the last races this car's going to run because I have the new 0.2 to build. Got to fix it up so we can race it tomorrow. Alright, we got the broken shock tower replaced. with the carbon fiber. I've had this in my parts for a few years actually. I've always wanted to just wait until I broke the front first because I really liked how thick these Kit Techno rear shock towers and front shock towers were, so I've kept the plastics. But I finally went to the carbon because that's all I had, and it's nice. It's a nice part, but it's unsealed carbon, so I think I might add some glue or something, but I don't really like doing that at the track. Anyway, just gonna run it. Let's go. Alright, it's really cold today. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just got to the point now where you can't see our breath anymore. Anyway, I think that's going to be the challenge, is trying to find what works in the cold weather. I know a lot of you guys out in southern USA are still dealing with hot temps, but here, fall hit us quite quickly, and it fell to around 0 degrees last night, Celsius, freezing temps. Alright guys, let's go see how we do on the track. I'll go show you the track. The track layout is the same as we had for the Quebec Classic. Yeah, like I said, I think the thing is going to be temperatures, and my tire choice is fairly limited. I have X3 slide locks is my top choice for 8 scale so far, but I've heard that M4 and M3 is the better compound to be running. If I got some of those in like a Blockade and a Fugitive and a slide lock, it would be great to have that set in M3 and M4. Anyway, we'll see how we do today. My pit partner today is a young lad named Bego, and he's out here running Nitro for one of the first times, a second time maybe, running JQ, the black car I believe, in Nitro. Let me show you some of that. Run.
Donc les petites batailles, vous allez remonter dans le CD.
Alright, my qualifier 1 is done, and the 8 scale, the EB48.3, it did very well actually. I was driving cautiously, conservatively, and I finished 5th. I know I can push harder, but I was trying not to crash, and I think for the double-double, I'm just going to end up rolling that second double almost all the time because the track is really rough, and it's colder out, so you end up getting like a really weird buck. Sugar. And it's better to just roll it and drive more cautious, be more consistently slower, means you're faster overall. 10 scale, the EB410, I did have a problem. I wasn't able to finish my race, and it kept shutting off. And then I went and checked my electrical leads, and actually one of my bullet connectors failed. So the third tooth off this bullet broke off. So I have now since replaced all my bullets. So now I've got a new positive and a new negative, so we should be good to not have that happen anymore. For batteries, again, thank you for Genzace being a sponsor. So running a 4S hard case, 5,000 milliamp hour, 50C pack with the EC5 connectors on the EB48, and kind of alternating between the 5500 RS and the 6000 Redline shorty pack on the EB410. I believe RS as a series of batteries is going away and being replaced with the Redline, so if you want to get the newest, best batteries that Genzace makes, look for Redline. Round 2 of qualification just finished up at Bego Racing RC Raceway, the final 2020 race, and my EB48, the run went very well. I was in first position for half that race, and then last 2 laps I had 2 long laps. I don't remember it being bad laps, but looking at the records, 42-second laps, it's way off pace, dropped me down to 3rd, but that car is running very well. The EB410, however, had lots of problems with that guy. So the EB410, I have not been able to finish a qualifier yet, and every time I go out, it would have this weird brownout problem. So the first thing I did was I fixed the bullet connectors, as you saw. So I got brand new bullet connectors on, and then I went out for the second qualifier, did the exact same thing. So then I was looking at my motor, and I was seeing that these motor tabs are moving around a lot. These motor tabs move around a lot, but I played with that with powered on, and it didn't brown out. And then I was investigating, looking down at my speed control. I found that my cap pack had desoldered itself, and these 2 leads were randomly touching any of the 3 leads that are on the speed control, touching and shorting out there. So I'm contemplating, do I just not run the cap pack? And will I be able to run this without a cap pack? or do I try and resolder it on, because it's really tight in there, and doing it in the field, I don't really have that fun of soldering skills. So doing that, I like to have the speed control out to do it, but we'll see. So I may or may not be able to make the main. We'll see how we do with the EB410. Now this is for the 8 scale race. I'm actually prepping and saucing my tires. I'm still using the Proline slide locks, and they're running it very well. So here's an unprepped one as it comes off the track, and it actually comes off pretty clean, but by saucing the tire, because it's cold weather, I'm noticing that it does soften them and it makes them a little bit more consistent. So how I'm doing that is just some yellow liquid wrench, spray it onto a toothbrush, and then just rub it into the treads. So we're about to go do the mains now, and I'm back to back in race 8 and 9. We'll see how we do in this B main race. I think I'm starting in 2nd or 3rd in the B, and see how we do in this race.
John, 3. 5 secondes. Moins de 3. Et c'est parti, le B-main de Bug électrique 1.8. En préparation, c'est la course de short course 4 pattes. Donc, JC, Mathieu Caron, René Ouellet, Jonathan Adon, Carlton, Marc-André, Sonny D, Richard Girard, Kevin Girard et Super Fast Racing.
And I just wanted to mention that after the EB48, my modification of the putting the nut on this side of the lower rear shock mount position has worked out perfectly. They didn't strip out, they didn't back out, worked out perfectly. We're gonna run the EB410. Actually, I haven't been able to finish a qualifier all day. I've had technical problems. We're gonna have to see how I do in the main. I'm starting very last, end of the grid, spot 9. All right, it's time to go up for the A main 4-wheel drive with the EB410. The track is rough, really rough for 10 scale. It's been chewed up, so you gotta be really careful. Even sometimes on the face of a jump when you're coming off, it'll really kick you, so gotta drive cautious. I expect to be on my roof a lot.
5 secondes. Moins de 3. Et c'est parti, course numéro 8.
Oh, see, what was that? What was that? Oh, I'm broken. Well, that's it. I'm broken. 11. Thank you. So on the EB410, it just pulled out of the, it stripped out the hub. So that's just from too many impacts. It just pulled right out. So this hub will have to be replaced. Anyway, this is probably the last time you're going to see the EB410. We'll go up to the EB410.2. Just got to build it for this fall. Alright guys, so the sun is setting and that's the end of my 2020 season at the 8 scale race at Bego Racing RC Raceway. So that was an awesome team that I was on, the Bego Racing team. So I got this great plaque, stainless steel, polished, thanks to one of our team members, Francis. And cumulative points, I'll try and find the cumulative points, but I was able to get a 3rd place podium finish with the EB410. Even though I had a really bad day today, I never was able to finish a race with my 10 scale. I had enough cumulative points to get 3rd overall for the 2020 season. Super stoked about that. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new on here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll be doing more racing as we're allowed. Restrictions are starting to close down again in my province. So this might be the last one that I'm able to do for a while, but I'll have a backlog of some other racing that I took previous. And if I get it to any other events, you will see them. Alright guys, thanks for watching.